Hi, it's Peggy with from the Pearl Forest, and today we are doing day 19 of our hashtag Play Your Hand for August 2024 challenge to make a hand of 5 journal cards. Today's project for day 19 is irregular shaped cards using standard supplies. So you might find yourself with some irregular shaped cards. They're not like a standard rectangle playing card, but there's something different. And then what can you do to turn this into your own journal card? Put a writable surface on the back, and then it can tuck into a pocket and be a journal card. I found this after I got ready, so it's an extra one. So I'll do that later. Right now I have my supplies layered here today to see if I can do this in a shorter amount of time today. So we have our newsprint that we put on the back. This one, if we just start at the top, put these over to the side. See my workable area here. So this little card is a bird, and I've put some newsprint on the back, and it will look really cute tucked into a little pocket, and you can write on it. And there wasn't a lot I could think of to do to it, but I wanted to do a little bit. So I had this idea. I found some words. This one says, "Hello there." And I thought if we made a little banner with some color behind it to make it pop, that would be fun. So let's see if I can get a hold of these little letters here. Give it a little pop around the edge. If you find different people's journal cards, they kind of have a set way of doing them and a set things that go on them. Whoops, that seems to work. Mine here tend to be quite probably different because I'm using stuff up. If I wasn't using stuff up, they would probably be a little bit more like other people's, but they still have some of the same principles in there. So my idea was to make this like a little banner that the little bird is going to be pulling along. With a message. Let's see, we can kind of just stress along the edge of this too, which makes the white not quite as large and vibrant and standing out. It makes the bird show up a little bit more. Kind of adds some interest to the back. The idea of a journal is you want places to write, and you want a variety, and you want interest. So they could pull this out of their pocket and write on here, and they could put it back in their pocket. And somebody just looking at the page wouldn't be able to see what they were writing in this case because it's on the back of the card, which is often the case. So I thought if I took my thread, which we had from our buttons the other day, I thought if I put it in his beak, let's see if I can poke this through without hurting him. Maybe we'll poke it from the front. Just a little hole here. Don't want to bend his beak too much. Okay, I think we could just go straight through. That's going to be more than enough string. And to make sure we get it nice and secure here, maybe we'll tie a knot. Try not to drag it in my glue that I already put down. Okay. There we have a knot. And we'll stick this down into our glue. Maybe coat it a little bit more because we don't want it to go anywhere. So let's let that dry a little bit before I can put this on. So let's look at our next one. This one I have is a baseball shape, which would be nice in a sports theme or a kids or, oops, I'm trying to put my needle up here where I won't lose it. I'm going to be making a circle journal. It would be good for that. So some of the things I pulled out, we do have a ticket. Whatever we do, we don't want, and I put newsprint on the back, we don't want to cover too much of the ball up so that we can't tell what it is still. I also have some of this confetti that might go across there. I have a pennant that says game that's yellow and blue, and I have a pennant that says game that's green and white. And then I have dream big. So I do like the idea of this going across in the middle to add some color. I want to poke this little part out. Give it a little extra glue. Now let's see. My glue is still a little stiff from sitting out overnight without, actually for a whole day without the lid. Okay, I want it to go this way or this way. I think maybe because this is going down here. Kind of get it to go through the baseball, and then we can trim that out. And let's trim the ticket just a little. Here we are. Redo the edges with the distress. And the ticket reminds me of, you know, going out to the ball game to watch. So I thought that kind of went. This is a little bigger than we need. We'll mostly put it in this blank spot here. So we can cut off these parts that stick out over the edge. I think when you can have different shapes and unusual styles, it'll add to the journal as something different than just this baseball. Now it already has some interesting things. I think I'm going to go with the green one. I think it fits a little better. We could use some of the confetti, but well, maybe a little bit down here. This other one is not the right color. We could do this one kind of off the edge there. And then we have our game pendant and our dream big. So where would we like this? That's kind of nice through the middle there. We'll just stress the edges. Hope everyone's having a good day and that maybe you're crafting along with me or getting ready to go craft afterwards. And you might not have irregular cards, but you might. I have a number of other ones. Couldn't put my finger on all of them, but we have more than we need anyway. But I know I have some surfboard shapes. I think some other ones as well. So let's see if we put this down just a little. So it's not right on that. And then we'll figure out where to put our dream big. You can watch for these at dollar stores or other discount things, or maybe even if you have kids, they might get them in a party pack sometime. Some decorative playing cards. Okay, so we want it over here. Do you want it up there? Up here at the top? I think maybe just up here at the top. So there we have this one. Just stress the edges. So we have a baseball shaped playing card, which is now our journal card. We added some game day things to it. Just stress the edges. I've left the lid off my pad here before. It's a little dry. I just remembered this is not the preferred edge. I'm just used to that. But I do have this one here that we could use. It gives a little bit darker edge and more contained. Like that. So I think it does a better job. I just didn't know where it was for a while. Okay, so there's our baseball one. Let's check out our bird. It's mostly dry there. Okay, let's see. Do we want to put art glitter glue also? Make a line down here. Stick our string along here like he's flying. Maybe a little bit of loop is nice. And then we'll just glue this on like that with his string. And I think got a lot of ink now on me. I can go cut this just a little shorter. So the thread isn't real easy to see, but it is there, and his little banner that he's pulling along behind him, and we have our space back here to write. We can try this edger to sort of darken the edges a little bit more. I also have used it on a different brown, so it may have a darker brown on it still, but it also has the vintage photo. So there's that one. All right, what do we have next? Next, I have this selection of things and this snowman. He was part of a teacher's bulletin board. I think there were words here and I cut off the picture. I think
I will round this just a little bit and then use my corner rounder. This looks like maybe medium. Yeah, that kind of matches. So it's not quite as sharp. So I thought it's kind of nice to keep him. He does have white newsprint that I put on the back. And here's some options that I got out. I got refreshing, a little tree. I have some shiny pine cones, gold and silver snowflakes, and this silvery tree. I'm thinking that this is a little big because it gets in the way of his hand. Not sure if the pine cone, well, it looks like it could go around it. So we could do pine cones down here and some snowflakes. Or we could just do snowflakes. Should we just put snowflakes around and keep more of the snow down here? Let's ink here and see how he looks distressed. This would be in a nice winter journal. Or sometimes I think it's nice to have an all seasons journal where you cover each of the different seasons. So you have some snowy things, some fall leaves, some summer something, and some spring something. All right, so let's see. Let's plug up our glue bottle before it dries up too much. Well, let's put a gold one down here first to see how that looks. This is kind of shaped like that, so let's avoid that one. But something away from the brown would be nice. Maybe this one here that's shaped sort of like a star. So let's peel that off and add some extra glue to make sure that our sticker sticks. After a few years, they tend to lose their stick. And let's stick it off the edge a little bit, and we'll trim those, but that way it looks like it fits on there. So we don't want to use this one because it's the same. Maybe we'll just use 3 and we'll alternate between them. Should we put them all down below, or should we put something up above? I think maybe this one would be nice on his head. But if we use 3, maybe we'll use this one so that we can put a silver one next to the gold one. Put this one coming down on him. And then that would be this silver one if we're using a different design. So we'll put this one down in this area. And we'll put on our refreshing. And stick it a little bit on the snowflake and a little bit just in there like that. Trim off the little bits that go over the edge, or a little bit bigger bits up here. There we go. Now we'll ink around the back. We need a little bit of glue here. Glue that back down. I find if while you're making them, you can check for spots that might need a little more glue. And also when you go to finish the little decorations. And another check is right before you put them in a journal, just to make sure you got them all done. So here's just part of a border that's been cut apart, now made into a cute little journal card. It's quite refreshing. Okay, for our fourth one, I have this big apple. And I put out here a whole bunch of things to consider. This is quite a large journal card. It is also made to be like a teacher's bulletin board item. I often use these quite heavy things. I use them for pockets too. They make nice pockets, but they also make nice journal cards. So here's a big green apple with black and white leaves and stem, and this is just the back it came with, which is plenty good to journal on. Get a little ink distress around the edges. Gives it some life and character, like it didn't just come out of a package, but it's been out there experiencing life. So, okay, so these are the things we have here to choose from. I have this green washi tape. I have this black and white vase, which I thought tied up with that nicely. I also have some black and white or black music notes. I have this butterfly or moth, a little bird that's a similar color, and an 84. I have this, which I can see is pretty much totally different, but it might be nice to cut out a pop. I have this flower, and I have this bird, also a digital, and then I have the word comfortable. Seemed to me that the images were kind of a comfortable world of stuff. So how would we like to put these together? I think this one needs a little more fussy cutting. Sometimes this delicate part you like to save till the last so it doesn't get beat up. Sometimes if I want to get in like that, I might actually just cut across. You can cut a little notch and get in there, but sometimes in the smaller areas that doesn't work as well. And when you're gluing it down, where you cut through doesn't show then. Okay, we can cut in here a little bit. This one a little more. Very skinny stem, so we don't want to do too much. And we will use the distress ink to kind of disguise some of this white that's left. Currently, this apple journal card base is very modern. Almost to me looks a little Art Deco. I don't know why. Maybe it's the black and white and the neon, or not sure. But I think when we're done, that will be changed to sort of something different. I do really like this one on here, and I like this one on here. We could put this in here. I know it's the black and white, but I think that's too much. We can put some music notes around, that would be good. Here's a moth. I think this is a moth, not a butterfly. So cut this part out. He's already lost his antenna. Probably determined they were just too small to include. If you feel you want them on still, you can draw them back on. So that looks nice up there. I think I will skip that. This is like a label. It's got a little extra that we should trim off, I think. I believe this is a page number out of a magazine. So we could put that in there. We have this little bird, which is a sticker. He can go up in here somewhere. And we have our words. And do we want to have any of this? I don't think we really need it. So let's try our brush here to tone this white down. Hopefully I'm still in frame. Okay, so we have that. And then let's go around this. You can make an irregular shape tag if you, say, cut something out of a magazine that was a shape, a telephone, an apple, a teddy bear, a car, a house, you know, anything that you want, and then back it maybe on some cardstock to give it a little extra. I'll just, whoa, come back here. Just draw around him with this. Give it a little extra strength. That's the word I was gonna look for. I got distracted, sorry. The cardstock would make it a little stronger than just a magazine. And then you also, if your cardstock is writable, then that could be the back surface as well. So let's see, if this is gonna sit here, maybe we'll put the bird on after the bush because we want it to, let's put this down first. We want it to be sitting on the bush, on the flower. So it's not just sitting up in the air. So put this one here on first. I'll just tuck this down near the edge into the white area a little bit. And I guess we'll do this one next. The art glitter glue works nice to get into all these little spaces and around the edges with not too much glue. Glue stick also works, but it's kind of a delicate job. You don't tear anything. And that, remember that one we cut, we need to make sure it lays down so that you can't tell that we cut it. So let's see, if we put this, we have room for our bird still. Maybe we need to go down a little bit more so it goes off the edge a bit. And our bird's on our lid. So we'll have our bird maybe stand on this one so it gets up to the stem area. It's nice to have them going around but yet also anchoring to each other, like these are all touching. connects them so they're not just floating in air. Now, room for the, whoops, the 84 in here. This up into the stem area a little bit. Oh, I forgot we have our music notes and our word. We'll do some music notes first and then our word. So there's our little 84. So where would we like these? Can we get them with some glue? Not get them too mucky. I think up here is nice to get up into that leaf. Just push that down. We have another big one. Maybe we'll try a little one. Okay, so put this little one maybe down here. I'll do 3 of them. Since we have that over there, maybe we'll do this other little one and put it on this edge. Guess there. Got a little glue on that. And then our word. So now it's not just an apple, but it's a whole collage as well. And I have to trim off this leaf. So there we go. Here we have a journal card that can go into a pocket. And our last one is this sheep that I had several of that were part of some children's activity project. And they're just backed onto cardstock. But I thought rather than just have it be like that we would fix it up some. And the words I chose for this one is smile, you are loved. So we did that one with some distressing. Put some around here. This is a photocopy, I think, and then I've glued it onto the cardstock after I fussy cut around it. I believe it came with a shepherd and sheep type lesson. So it's one of the sheep. Ink the back, distress and make the edge stand out. And if you're not a distress inker, that's fine. You do not need to do this. I don't always. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't do. Sometimes I do not. Okay, I pulled out a couple butterflies as possibilities, and I pulled out a couple flowers as possibilities, and then I also pulled out some vines. I'm looking at this one. This would actually be kind of cute around the neck. Like he has a necklace of ivy leaves. Because I think it's pretty much just the right size. Oops, none unstick from me. So there's some ivy leaves. We can close this up. ivy that's sticking quite a bit, which means it's getting clogged. Okay, we can also have some growing over here, and I thought we would put the flowers down below, but I think I like the ivy up above as well. Kind of like our little sheep is out in nature. So maybe I like it going over the edge just a little. Kind of brings out the greenery. I could give him one on his head too, but that might be too much. Okay, and let's try these flowers. This glue stick is still really thick. So I'll put this one down here. I'm not going to push too hard on the edge because this one might go underneath. Thinking I might like it under this one. Like that. So we have some flowers and some ivy and our cute little sheep. And we trim our extra off. And this would have been something that would have just gotten thrown in the garbage, but now it's a cute journal card. It will go in one of our journals, and yes, we'll get to those journals soon to get through our August journal card challenge. Where do we want to put that? Maybe just across here. And do we like this one or this one? I think the yellow fits better. Have a little butterfly up on its head, or should I just have him back here on his rump? Maybe back here. Okay, so there's that one. And we'll trim what's sticking out, except I'm going to leave the butterfly over the edge a little bit. So let's see what we made for this one.
We have hashtag Play Your Hand day 19, and we've made a little sheep card. We've made an apple journal card and a snowman journal card, a baseball journal card, and a little bird with his little string banner journal card. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hand of journal cards for hashtag Play Your Hand on day 19 of August 2024. Thanks for joining me. This is Peggy from the Pearl Forest. I had fun. I hope you did too. See you tomorrow for day 20.